The Ben Davis and Kelly K Show podcast on demand.
If you ever want to just get a separate opinion, just write us up a note, toss it out to us, and we'll toss it to our listeners and, see if you can get, an opinion from someone who isn't emotionally involved in this. Kelly, you want to take this one?
Okay, so we got a message from, we'll call her Laura. She said, hey guys, love your show, been faithful listener for years. I thought, what the heck, I'll ask them.
Okay.
So I've been married for 2 years, and last month my husband was presented his first big contract at work.
All right. There you go.
Isn't that good? It's rooted in good news. Mm-hmm. He's worked so hard, and this promotion was well-deserved, plus the salary increase was almost double, and the incentives were amazing.
That's awesome.
Obviously, we're both extremely excited and feel like we can start everything now, like get a new car, start looking for a house because we're renting right now.
Okay.
Maybe think about kids, all the adult stuff.
Oh, look at that. All right.
Well, the new position doesn't start until April 1st. And to celebrate, we both went shopping for clothes, out for drinks, dinner at a fancy restaurant. It was super fun.
Sure.
Since then, though, it seems he's been celebrating every day.
Oh.
Amazon packages showing up practically every day with stuff. He's been ordering takeout every day. He bought golf clubs. He doesn't even golf, but he told me he's going to start.
Trust me, I'm going to need them.
Yeah, totally. We don't have this money yet. We're paying on credit. I've told him to slow his roll.
Yeah.
That we'll have plenty of time to get the stuff. And he told me to relax, that we're set now.
Okay.
I feel bad kind of continuing to harp on this, but I don't want him to get us into financial trouble celebrating too much.
Gotcha.
He told me we're fine. I'm just not used to having this much money and not to worry. So am I kind of being too naggy here, or should I just let him have his fun, hope it cools down after a while? I kind of feel like we've flipped a switch overnight and we're trying to live a completely different life. Maybe I'm just not comfortable with that yet. What do you guys think?
Man, that's money is such an issue with relationships.
Oh, yes. And if you don't have the same philosophy towards it, it can lead to problems.
Yeah, you've got to be on that same page, money-wise. And I get it. Like you get a promotion, you get like maybe a financial windfall, and it's like, we got to celebrate now. You start looking at, all right, well, how much is our paycheck going to go up? All right. And then you're like, oh, wow, okay, man, we can do this. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with her in the fact that we need to kind of slow the roll a little bit until you start realizing what that is going to do to your monthly situation. And then you'll know how much extra you'll have to work with and not overextend yourself.
Yeah, Morgan comments on Facebook. It says, have you ever heard the saying, don't count your chickens before they hatch? I would be upset and concerned with how much money he's spending, considering this new increase doesn't even start for another couple weeks. Yeah, okay. I think everybody and all the comments that I'm reading so far, everybody is on the same page of, let's pull
Pump
back
the brakes
on the celebrating. But I think then the question is, because it sounds like she's already addressed that with him in maybe her own way, how does she get him on that same page? Because
he's already kind of like blown her off saying, we're fine.
Yeah, we're fine. Yeah, you're just not used to having as much money, baby. I mean, look at me. Right. So,
okay.
All right.
So how do we convince him that, hey, we still need to just wait until we see what the new budget's going to be?
Yeah. 502-571-9970. This is Group Therapy. All right, got a message from Laura, who is, on one hand, happy and proud of her husband of 2 years for landing that big contract, that promotion that's well-deserved. On the other hand, she's all like, he's been celebrating for the past several weeks since he got this promotion. Even though it's not starting until April 1st, he's buying all sorts of stuff. And I'm like, slow your roll. And he's like, don't worry about it.
Now, see, a lot of people are chiming in saying, you know what, your instincts are right. Jeremy said, I think you're being responsible. Unfortunately, in today's climate, things can change in a hurry. I pray that all goes well and that you all live the life you dream of. However, you got to consider the job market is a roller coaster right now, here today, gone tomorrow. I personally wouldn't continue to live the same way that you've been living since you've managed and saved the extra for about a year just in case something drastic happens. You know, don't get me wrong. It's perfectly okay to have a nice dinner out, treat yourselves every now and then. And she was talking about, you know, looking into a house, a car, because they're renting right now. Those things seem reasonable.
Yeah.
It's the extras.
Right. Like the golf clubs.
Don't go over. Yes.
That
because he doesn't golf.
Don't even golf yet. But he's like, I will. But I think everybody, I shouldn't say everybody. JR texted us and said, look, that sounded like my wife when I started my new job. But in the end, she realized I was right and we were fine. So he's like, okay, look, maybe he just knows and the money issues aren't going to be a thing. But I think a majority of people are like, hey, he probably should slow his roll. You know, a lot of people throwing out the book.
Emergencies, though, can pop up.
Yeah.
Like things that you don't foresee that you would need to have a chunk of money for.
Right.
So there are those things that you kind of need to, like a rainy day fund or, you know, emergency fund, something like that, you know, this is an opportunity to really fill that up.
Yeah. And
give yourself some security.
Right. And I guess the real question is, how do you tell him? Or how do you get him on board, I should say?
Yeah, because she has tried to mention this and he's just blown her off. So, you know, how do we really open his eyes to see, listen, you got to take this seriously?
I mean, maybe show him I don't know, just like maybe it's the golf clubs. It'd be like, honey, like I get that you're excited, but you know, we don't even have money for this right now. You know, you haven't even started this new position yet. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think, and I go back to I think the issue is, how do you get them on board with this? And several people had suggested Dave Ramsey's book, Total Money Makeover, and be like, hey, you know, maybe let's read this, or at least listen to it on tape and you know, listen to what he has to say.
Oh yeah, we've always kind of taken that philosophy to aggressively pay down debt, to try to have the least amount of debt possible to go through our daily life, just because you just don't know what life is going to throw at you.
Yeah, you don't. So I think we're saying, okay, so if we have to tell Laura something here, it's one, yes, your instincts are right, and probably shouldn't be being too extravagant too early here.
And here we are. You know what? Just send him the podcast of this. Boom. The Peanut Gallery chiming in. We'll tell him for her.
That's good. Then we're gonna get.
Right?
Then we're gonna get her update is, okay, so now I have an issue with my husband.
Now he's mad that I put him on blast on the radio.
Right, exactly. And so anyways, all right. If you want to hear the podcast, you can listen back to that, WDGX.com, click listen, or chime in when you can, Facebook at Ben and Kelly Show.